Hello, I'm Matt Malarkey, the DBA Program Director, and in this second part of our video series, we'll be talking about the DBA objectives. I will cover mission.
And I'm Grandin Gill. And in this segment, what I'm going to do is talk about the philosophy that underscores our program and give you a sense of where it fits compared with other types of educational experiences that you might have.
The mission of the DBA program offered by the Muma College of Business is to provide its graduates with the skills needed to conduct rigorous research in the social sciences, with the objective of applying the findings to real-world decision-making in industry and government. And the keys to our mission are the conduct of rigorous research and its application to the real world of business and practitioners.
In order to understand the philosophy of the DBA program, it's useful to take a look at a 2x2 grid. And the two dimensions of this grid are whether or not the program is highly customized or highly standardized in terms of the content being delivered. And then the second dimension is the question of who decides when sufficient learning has taken place, the faculty member or the teacher, or the student, him or herself. Now, if you think about this grid, there are a lot of familiar programs that you can classify. For example, K-12 is an example of a highly standardized product, and it's the teacher who decides if a student is ready to move on. Now, it's not always the teacher that makes the decision. For example, in a lot of continuing education, the product can be quite standardized, but it's the student who has decided whether he or she has learned enough, whether he or she wants to continue working. We'll call this the student as customer. Now, the student is not always given standardized curriculum. So sometimes you think of the student as a client, where the student is trying to achieve objectives that are highly customized. A good example of this is things like music lessons or tutorial assistance. The student decides when he or she is done, and the content is customized for the student. Now, there's another area here which I would say is like an apprenticeship. And I call this the replica zone because here the product is highly customized, but the instructor determines when you're done. And this is very much like the old apprenticeship programs that they used to have, and is a good model for the PhD. In a traditional business PhD, what happens is the student wants to become exactly the same as the faculty member who is teaching him or her. Now, the DBA program is a little different because our students, for the most part, are not trying to be like us. They're trying to learn the research methods that we know so that they can apply them to their own practical business problems. And I call this region the partner region. So as we look at the philosophy of our DBA program, our objective is to create partners who can act as a bridge between the world of practice and the world of academia, and who can work with us to apply research methods to practical business problems.